Hi everyone. So this video is called, Do You Really Not Know What to Do? And I can poke a little fun here because I am the king and the queen of the topic of this video, some of the struggles that come with clarity, all right? Okay, so I'm excited to dive into this with you today. One thing I have found really helpful in my own journey of trying to wake up is the power of distinctions. Because I find anything that is claimed to be the truth that is one-sided is a little bit questionable. So let's pull in two sides of a distinction around clarity. One side is authentically, truly not knowing. We've all been there. You have a big question about your life, and there's nothing you can do to force or hustle that clarity. It's just not time to know something. And no amount of showing up or journaling about it or talking about it, it could all be very helpful. It could be a helpful part of getting to clarity. But the clicking, the truly being sure, is going to take the time it takes. This is divine, this is sacred, and please don't rush that sacred state of not knowing because it's not time to know. And this is something you can check in with your inner guidance about, because that's going to be the authority on that. Now, the other side of this distinction that I want to talk about, the difference between not knowing and not making the time to know. Now, this is interesting here, because spinning our wheels, it's very valued in this culture, even if we claim it's not. Thinking our way through a problem. Oh, I'm guilty of that. It may seem like, well, I'm asking this question, I'm thinking a lot about it, but I don't know. In a way, that's an anxious response because we haven't, and when I've been there, I haven't really dropped in. So I'm up here wondering or worrying about something. That's different from truly not knowing. That's about not having made the time to get clear. So I want to talk about a miracle that can happen if you are longing for some clarity, when you actually take the time to drop in, to find out what's there, to face, what's there on the blank page, to see if there's anything there outside of autopilot, outside of just your thought process or your spinning wheels. When you tune into your inner guide and that still intuitive voice or that gut instinct and see if it has anything to say about your current question. Now, this clarity has come to me like this in many areas of my life, and I've watched it for clients too. Sometimes, once again, it goes back to authentically not being ready to know, or it's not time to know. Sometimes clarity does come like an epiphany, like lightning in the night, where it's critical mass and we realize something key about our situation that puts everything into perspective. And it is through doing work and showing up and talking to people that we trust, developing, healing, that clarity, that it makes possible for those moments of, something's hit critical mass and you have that clarity. I've also watched that by just taking the time to turn off the noise, to maybe turn off the phone and other people's feedback and show up with your question like a brainstorm, like a problem that you had to solve for your boss at work, and just see what happens. Something that has worked for me when I do this, when I show up with a question like a blank page, especially I do this as an entrepreneur and as a creative. It's like, okay, I want to write something new. I want to create something new. I can't tell you how many times I've gone in with the anxiety of, oh my God, there's nothing there. There's not going to be anything there. I have no idea what to do. But that's way up here. And when I sit down and I lock in and I align and I, do my little prayer, whatever works for you, I can't even believe that 5 or 10 minutes later, there was actually a lot there. God, everybody knows I love metaphors, but it's like there's a pregnancy here, okay? It's like you don't know, but you have a lot of energy and something wants to come out. Something wants to give birth here. And so make that time for it. Drop in, bring your question to the table, and see what happens. Maybe you had no idea how to start a creative project, but you hadn't spent 15 minutes turning everything else aside and all of your worrying and wondering and big questions aside to just face that. Or a big question on how to proceed in a relationship or in a situation in your life that you're not sure if it's serving you anymore. And this is another video, another topic, another time, but that's where resistance can come in, because maybe it's hard for us to see something. And so it's not always just making the time, but facing the resistance and the reason why that resistance is there, trying to protect us when it might actually be blocking us. So drop in, take your question to some real quality time and see what happens. See if you have clarity. Is it a true, it's not time to know, or you just needed the time to know? Love to hear your thoughts on this. See you soon.